A Central Australian woman has successfully had an order of the Northern Territory's Mandatory Alcohol Rehabilitation Tribunal overturned. A magistrate has ruled that the tribunal's failure to appoint an advocate denied her natural justice. Indigenous legal services say it throws into doubt the validity of the government's legislation to tackle alcohol abuse.
Under the Northern Territory Government's mandatory alcohol treatment legislation, anyone picked up for being drunk 3 times in 2 months can be forced into rehabilitation by a tribunal. Dozens of people have been forced into rehab since July, but in the first legal test of the laws, a woman in Alice Springs has successfully fought an order of the tribunal. She appealed on the grounds that she was not represented during the hearing. The magistrate, David Bamber, found the tribunal made an error of law. Without an advocate, she was effectively not being heard. The failure to appoint an advocate was a denial of natural justice. The woman's lawyer says that could put all of the tribunal's orders in doubt.
They're people who are vulnerable in society, so they're the very people who most need assistance and representation. And if that's not there for them, then there's a flaw.
The top end's Indigenous legal services hope the case will set a precedent.
This is what we've been aiming for, is that when this is happening, that the legal services in the top end and the centre do take this on board as a test case.
The Territory Government won't appeal, saying it's not a precedent. It's the result of a number of unique occurrences. An advocate is not always required.
Anybody that's going to be incarcerated, anyone who's going to be locked up for 3 months and deprived of their liberties needs to have a fair hearing. They need to be represented by a lawyer, and this is a flaw in the legislation, and the government's legislation is flawed.
The government will consider the court's findings as part of a review of the rehabilitation regime starting in January. Jane Bardon, ABC News.